Why is it so hard for police to catch drug lords who have drug houses in once decent Durban suburbs? Checkpoint set up camp near a notorious drug den in Phoenix for a few weeks, and the activity was plain to see.
Julie Pilley's drug-addicted daughter Chantel, found dead in Phoenix 2 years ago, got her drugs from a well-known den called the Barnyard, not far from where her body was found.
She went to Barnyard, and then I don't know what really took place that Friday night over there. She didn't come home. Normally she goes and she comes back home. But that Friday she went, she didn't come home.
Everyone in Phoenix knows the Barnyard, says Dion, who lives nearby and wants to remain anonymous because he fears for his life. The Barnyard has been around for more than a decade and has been raided by the police.
The name Barnyard came about. There were goats here. There were all these pets. Pigs they had, peacocks, there were ducks, lots of animals here in the back, roaming freely. And I think that's how it first started off. So everything looked nice, and then behind that was the drug scene.
When she heard a body had been found, Julie Pilley and a friend rushed to the scene.
When we went there, we saw polices and those tapes were around. They didn't allow us to go and see the body. People around there. She's no more alive, she's dead.
We spoke to a group of homeless drug addicts living near the stormwater drain where Chantel was found. They say they knew her.
For years, because we're in the streets for like 5-6 years, most of us.
Some of them were there when she died, they say. She had deep wounds to her neck, chest, arms and legs. According to the police, she had been mauled by dogs. The owner of the Barnyard, Kevin Mudley, is said to own a pack of pit bulls.
She was attacked, and then after that she came to watch as everybody takes a part there, most of us. But after that day we found her dead in the next morning.
2 years later, the case remains unsolved. Police spokesman Jay Naika says they've been unable to crack Chantel's murder because of a lack of evidence.
Unfortunately, nobody came forward. And what's more disturbing to us is, that apparently she was screaming for help.
Dion says he often hears screaming around here.
They're screaming for their lives, or they're screaming and crying. They're being assaulted or what's happening.
In May last year, the bodies of Navashan Pilley and Prince Gumede were found in the ditch not far from where Chantel died. They had also been mauled by dogs.
And it was about 3 or 4 of the same murders where young people involved in drugs, bodies were found and the cause of death was mauled by dogs. It just didn't make sense because there are no dogs, stray dogs in the area. None of the neighbors have vicious dogs. There were no reports of any of the neighbors' dogs having bitten anybody. And the only vicious dogs were known to the community is that of the drug lords.
My question is, those dogs never leave his yard. How come the bodies are found in the drain?
Some suspect that dogs were deliberately set on Prince Gumede and Navashan Pilley inside the Barnyard because of drug debts and their bodies dumped near the drain. The Barnyard, the white building to the left of the tree, is owned by Kevin Mudley, a convicted drug dealer who moved into Phoenix 10 years ago. It's a hive of activity with addicts hanging around all day. Kevin told the police that all 3 deaths were tragic accidents. His dog simply got through a hole in the fence.
From what our police officers witnessed, there was no holes in the fence, although the dog owner alleges that there was a hole in the fence, but we never saw a hole in the fence.
The police arrested Kevin along with 2 of his workers, Nicholas Muzenda and Sifiso Ntuli, and charged them with Prince and Navashan's murders. The case is before the Verulam Magistrates Court. Despite this, it's business as usual at the Barnyard.
Sweet, nothing's been done about it for many years, that it's now become so normal to go stand in your backyard and see prostitutes. It's normal to stand in your backyard and see drugs being sold.
Police say arresting dealers is tricky.
We can't just walk in, barge in without a warrant and just start searching the place. So if there's information, obviously we go through the process, we obtain the necessary warrants, And when we have obviously controlled operations in those areas because you have to catch them in the act.
Julie Pillay also lost a son to drugs. He worked as a runner for a local dealer and was killed after an altercation about drugs.
The neighbor boy and him, the neighbor boy came into my mother-in-law's lounge and poked him with a knife, right in his heart.
It saddens her to watch families being destroyed like hers has been.
As a mother, I do think of them. I cry when I'm quiet. I think of them. There's nothing much I can do because I feel we were 5 in the family. Like now, at the moment, I feel like, I don't want to live. Like I want to go as well because I got nobody.
Coming up, how the deals are done.
It's a 24-hour operation, 7 days a week.
Sometimes you'll see they're all making a queue here, like you're in school, assembly. You'll queue up, buy their stuff, smoke it right there and leave.